Okay, I have 5:15, so if this meeting could come to order, please. And we've had a chance to look at the agenda. Do I hear a motion to adopt the agenda?
Move to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Second? Okay, any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. So we are officially the Waverly Public Library Board of Trustees with an approved agenda. So let's look at the minutes here, which I thought were outstandingly done. Very, very concise.
Thank you. So was Edie Waldstein a member of the board at that point? Should we list her name?
She is the council liaison to the board. So,
Right. And under the minutes, should she
Oh.
be listed?
let's see.
It says she was
Absent?
extended
I
a
don't know
welcome.
if she was at that point, but
Oh, yeah, she was
What was the date on that?
March 11th. You were
Oh, yeah.
official, yes. There's no doubt about that. It was that January.
okay,
Right.
so we
So
should list her as absent.
Absent.
Yeah. Okay. Any more questions about the minutes? Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of March 11th?
I move we approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right. Let's get on to our financials for March. Sarah, you want to take over?
Sure. All right. I think I'll first look at the summary page, which is the third page of your packet there. We are 3/4 of the way through the fiscal year at this point, because all these represent all the checks through the end of March. Way on the right-hand column there, you can take a look at the percentages and see that we are at just a little over 70% for personnel, just under 73% for utilities, almost 80% for library materials, which I've put the word out to those staff members who order books and other library materials that it's time for us to slow down and take a look at what's still coming in on standing orders and what's out there yet, so we can evaluate what's left to spend here at the end of the year. So that's it's a very typical place for us to be at this time of year. Some of the others run low at this point in the year because we tend to make some of our planned purchases for computer technology and those things toward the end of the year when we are pretty much out of the woods on emergency things. I was going to mention, too, that as far as reserve funds for the month, there was $945 transferred out of reserve to pay for some of the e-readers and e-books that were purchased. That will be a pass-through, that $945, plus another bill that we have. That was the technology grant that Jillian wrote and received from the state of Iowa. And those e-readers are actually being circulated to the public right now. So I think they're being very well received. We do have our Enrich Iowa money yet to spend in reserve that needs to be spent by the end of the month. And one of those expenditures, about $4,000, has been spent. You'll see the invoice next month. We made Larry Roth, our computer network administrator, manage this whole transition, but basically our library service system, ILS, Cersei Dynex, we moved from one platform on one server to a new server pretty seamlessly because Larry had it very well planned out, and we did paid for extra time with the Cersei company to have them help with that migration. So that bill of about $4,000 will be coming next month. That will be part of our Enrich Iowa money. We'll also be waiting on invoices from our long-range planning consultant, and then as soon as we can manage to get our space needs study done, those are the other two things coming out of reserve. So those are kind of the big things.
What was that other operating expenditures that was relatively high on our expense summary
Let's see.
for the March? 5,000.
I'm going to take a look at what was marked other on the checks list here and see if I can sort that out. One was the dues. Well, that was $460 for the Iowa Library Association, just renewal of all of our dues. I think there was also a charge. We also had under duplicating, which would fall under other, I believe, was probably about a year's worth of toner there for some of our printers. Trying to see if I don't think the Visa bill has come through yet for the charges that would be for the conference that I attended last month. That will be on next.
Would that other operating expenditures include postage also?
Yes.
Okay.
Phone and utilities?
No, well, not phone, but I think utilities would be.
In other operating?
Yeah. So that would get you closer to that 5,000 mark.
Utilities.
And media from Amazon?
That falls under books and materials. You'll notice that there was $0 is what we paid to CenturyLink for our phone service, and that's because our E-rate discounts have kicked in.
And according to one of our weekly reports, that's all that paperwork's taken care of.
Yes, and that would be the paperwork for next year, because the filing that I'm doing now is the paperwork for 14-15.
Yeah, okay.
We probably should take a look at revenues. I don't think I noted anything unusual there. Just that, again, we haven't transferred very much out of library reserve. We still have quite a bit yet to transfer there, which will show up here as a revenue later in the year. The thing that I have to keep in mind about that reserve budget that's unusual this year is that we made a transfer in July that shows up here. Well, you can't see it because the column is hidden, but it was for all the expenditures through the end of last fiscal year, through the end of June. So that's why our budget received over there, total transfers from library reserve, showed that we have transferred almost $13,000, but that includes the transfer we made in July for the previous fiscal year. So we still have transfers for all that Enrich Iowa money to make.
We haven't received our money yet from the county. We should get that in April.
No, there should be a check coming in April, and I know that's an agenda item coming up, but I did put out the question whether we know what our budget amount, approved amount for the county contract has been for next year, and I have not heard yet if that decision has been made. But yes, April is the month we're supposed to receive our check for the remainder of this fiscal year from the county.
So we have quite a few checks for office supplies. I guess that's just coincidental because it's under budget. But I noticed one of them, I think, has a typo. I'll just point this out.
Sure.
You know the trustees do read these papers. But instead of a 65, it's a 56 account number. And it's about the 7th from the bottom.
Oh. Okay.
Figure out what
I'll have to have Jane look at that. That might be a typo.
number.
I don't think there was anything special going on with office supplies. I think it was just a coincidence.
Yep, normal, because we're under
Yeah.
budget, so.
If we're looking at checks now, there's 2 checks for our portion of Brad's cell phone.
Oh,
What happened there?
yes, they brought that up to me. I think one month it didn't get billed to us by the city. The city usually bills the library once a month for our portion of Brad's phone service. So I think that was just a catch up from a previous month when it inadvertently hadn't gotten billed. I don't think I have anything else to point out unless anyone has any other questions.
There's $1,000 to U.S. Post Office Service. Is there a meter there that we just pay periodically?
Yes, we have a postage meter in-house, and we just send money periodically. In theory, that probably our use of postage is probably going down somewhat. I'll have to evaluate that at the end of this year. We have started that small fee for interlibrary loan books, which was previously we were able to offer that as a free service, but I think our interlibrary loan volume has probably gone down just a little bit due to that, and we are recouping a part of that postage money. So I'll have to do a little tracking at the end of the year to see how much that helped us even things out just a little bit on postage. That's another thing at the state library level. I understand the transit service that was provided by the AEA 267, that van route will not be going on forever for us. So our postage has kind of gone up and down related to a few of those technicalities.
Okay, do I hear a motion to approve the financials for March 2014?
I move we approve as per standing resolution.
Second?
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, reports. Let's talk about the Waverly Public Library Foundation report.
Okay.
And everybody has a copy, is that correct?
Yes, I handed out
Pass that
copies. I had been in conversation with Deanna McHugh, who's out of town today on business. So she sent a very nice report the other night to share with you all. So I think what I'll do is just read through it. She wrote it out so well. And then if there are questions afterwards, I think between Diana and I and Larry, we can field those. The Waverly Public Library Foundation held its annual meeting on March 18th. Just as a reminder, the Foundation's mission is to contribute to the quality of life in the Waverly community by committing its entire focus and resources in support of the Waverly Public Library. To that end, the Foundation oversees 2 accounts of funds donated in support of the library. The custodial funds are provided to the Waverly Public Library, and the Foundation Board serves as the investment custodian but those funds are controlled by the Library Board. So that's one portion of the funds. The direct Foundation funds are provided directly to the Foundation, which the Foundation both invests and controls. So we have 2 pots of money. The total of these 2 accounts then serves in part as an ongoing endowment, with remaining dollars available to use in support of library projects. And that's our special projects that we approve now and again here. We welcomed 2 new members to fill openings on the Foundation Board, Edie Waldstein and Fred Ribbich, and completed our regular investment and financials review at our annual meeting. A main agenda item, however, was a presentation by Kay England and John Tavine on behalf of the Community Foundation of Northeast Iowa and its underlying Bremer County Community Foundation. They brought forward a proposal for the Waverly Public Library Foundation to establish an agency endowment with the Bremer County Community Foundation as a way to build income for the organization and assist with investment management. Essentially, this would take the portion of the foundation dollars designed to serve as an endowment and move them into the community foundation structure. So it would be part of the foundation funds, of the library foundation funds. Following the presentation, the Foundation Board discussed advantages and disadvantages of the proposal, and the investment committee met the following week to review in more detail and determine what additional information would be needed to adequately evaluate and make recommendations. Based on that meeting of the investment committee, the Foundation Board plans to meet again and is also proposing a joint study session with the Waverly Public Library Board, because half or more of those, more than half, the majority of those funds are under the control of the Library Board, before finalizing and bringing forward a formal recommendation. We're working to schedule the foundation meeting for later this month in April and hoping to hold the study session with the library in May. So perhaps we need to add that to our May agenda for the library board.
We'll do that. Do we have a date set yet for that foundation meeting?
No, we do not. No.
All right, clarification, the study session would be at our May meeting.
I guess
that
that
what
was
I'm
my
hearing?
assumption, just because it would be efficient, but I suppose we could call a special meeting.
I'm just clarifying.
Yeah, we plan right now to have it at the May meeting. If for some reason it seems like it would make the meeting odious as far as time length goes, then we might look differently at that. But the foundation board has not met to further discuss that, and they need to. And then either whatever recommendation will come to the board. And so I think we received from the Northeast Iowa and Bremer County Board a packet. And so if anyone would like to borrow this and look through it, and I know we could get more, it's nice to have the person running the Northeast Iowa Foundation living in Waverly. But if anyone wants to borrow that and look through the presentation, we're just looking at it to see if it might be of benefit to our own Waverly Library, Public Library Foundation. And
I think one of the biggest benefits that was brought up is that the Community Foundation is authorized to offer donors that 25% off or 25% tax credit for what I'm losing the name of that tax credit.
Endow, Iowa?
Yes, I believe so. I believe it's called Endow, Iowa. So that would be something that the Waverly Public Library Foundation cannot offer on our own, but that would be something we'd have to weigh in making that decision.
so just keep that in mind, and anyone wants to borrow that, feel free, and you can, in fact, we might just keep one at the library, one of these packets for
Yes.
board members to look at your convenience and return, and then start thinking about it and forming an opinion. And then when the foundation board has a recommendation, you'll have some idea of where you think we ought to go. But nothing's to be decided this evening. We're just presenting this.
I think because it's a big decision, Deanna just wanted to make sure that we were reporting to let everybody know what was being discussed, and it's something new that the Foundation Board has not entertained before.
Right. So think about it, and we'll be back. And of course, anyone here is welcome to come to the Foundation Board meeting that will be set up later this month. It's just because you're not officially on that board, feel free to come to the meeting if you have a desire for another meeting. Any questions here on this item? Don't hesitate to ask, but we aren't going to do any decisions right now. Okay, let's move on to Bremer County Library Association.
This is really just a very quick item because I don't have any budget information as far as projection for our budget for next year. This is just a note to say that next Tuesday, a week from tonight, is our semi-annual Bremer County Library Association meeting. So I believe Deanna McHugh will be going with me to Sumner that night. She is our county representative, and a trustee from each library in Bremer County will be present. And this meeting will basically be to talk about an upcoming trustee training that will be later this month, and I have to double check the date on that and get back to you. But I believe Denver Public Library is offering a trustee training for any trustees in the county. And I think that's not a heavy agenda that night. So,
Haven't you in the past asked at the courthouse for the supervisors or and and gotten information, but
A
you
few
said not
days
forthcoming?
ago, I did ask, but I'm not sure that they have the answers yet. I haven't heard back.
More questions, everybody? Information, we just sort of waiting.
Trustee training sounds good.
We haven't had one for a while.
And even those of us who've been on for a long time, it'd be good for us to go to one.
That is something that's on a question for the annual survey of the State Library every year. They like to know what trainings your trustees have been to, so it's viewed positively when it comes time for accreditation and just our annual report.
If you get information on that, how about sending everybody an email so we can plan ahead if
I will. I
we
can
want to get involved?
I can try to find out tomorrow from the from Kelly Platty, the director of the Denver Public Library, if she has that set up yet.
Okay, library long-range plan.
This report was just received early this week from Kim Keatsman, our consultant. She had, at the end of last week, she had sent me a PDF of all the results from the online survey. I believe we had 174 respondents to our online survey, which I forgot to ask her what was our magic number as far as
I think she said 170.
Oh, she did?
I think that is what she said at the
Then we may
at the
have
staff planning.
Okay.
I think.
So we may have just made our statistical quota for the online survey. I will double check that. I do have a copy of that information if anyone's interested over here. I have a couple copies of that. I'm still wading through all that data myself because it's pretty dense. I think what she did here in this report was to basically take information from the meeting that she held with the staff and the meeting with the board and the meeting with the community group. And also, I think there might be some information pulled in here from the online survey, but
It says after reviewing the public survey and the notes from
Oh,
all three
here.
focus
Okay.
groups, so there's a little bit anyway.
okay. I was also reading off an email she sent, so good, it's there too. So she breaks it down into teen services, children's services, community involvement, collections, and physical space for our library. And then I think she's just trying to find some convergence areas. So you're welcome to read through that. I don't know, do you want me to read through it? And
Well, I'm excited about some of the things I read here, you know, like a marketing plan for services, which would put the signage and stuff.
I don't know that it's necessary for you to read through
Okay.
everything. I think we can read through it and begin to form opinions
wanna-
ourselves.
You might
Here.
want to just read the 5 areas. Just one on the back.
oh, yeah, teen services.
Yeah, because she said there were, what did she say? General areas of convergence. In all 5 areas, at least 3 groups expressed a strong feeling about the library's role. So it sounds like she feels these 5 areas had strong support.
Teen services, children's services, community involvement and outreach, collections, and physical space.
Were teens included in the survey
Yes, the survey was,
or in the feedback in general, I guess?
we had one teen that was able to make the community group meeting. So we had one present at that meeting. And then the survey was put out to be available to everyone. And I'd have to look at the statistics we got back to see how many answered from that age group, but it was offered. So that would be a good question to look at, how much input they got on the online survey. I think Kim's plan then is that staff could look at these then and begin to outline some goals under these areas based on I don't think it's expected that we'd be able to tackle all of these things, but maybe do some thinking about which items we could handle. And then she would review that, offer some advice and edits. We would work on activities and objectives. She would review again, and I imagine, and then it would come to the board. But I imagine in the middle there would need to be some communication with the board as well, as far as putting out information about where we're at with goals. And this is a little bit different process than the last time. I do like how she is just trying to pull in some overlapping ideas that she heard from different constituents. So I would welcome your feedback too on the process. And
Do we plan to have this by the May meeting, or will she personally come back and appear at the May meeting?
I know she will come back. Probably we should try to have that done by the May meeting, because if there are any amendments that need to be made, that would give us time to do that before the June meeting, where a final plan could be approved if we needed an extra time. So I think we should plan that would be on the May agenda.
What is BISAC?
Oh, that is I can't remember what the acronym is exactly, but it's an alternate form of organizing library material as opposed to, say, Dewey or Library of Congress. And it's based more on kind of a bookstore model of grouping by subject. I don't know if any of you noticed at the North Liberty Public Library, but I believe that's the system they use.
Cedar Rapids used a combination.
Okay.
So I think both libraries said that the public really like that idea. The only people that occasionally get uptight about that are real librarians and staff who have done it with the Dewey Decimal System for so long, but the public seems to feel it's a friendly way of presenting material.
Would require some signage, but
Sure. I think when I visited North Liberty, I also took some pictures of their the spine labels on their books to see how they had labeled some of them, and they offered to share this catalog with me. It might even be online. This BISAC, it would just be something we'd have to go through and recatalog, but at least the label portion. So.
Okay.
Safe to assume that she's moving in the direction of having 5 large goals, these being the 5, and then the staff develop sub-goals underneath these? I'm trying to read her process and look at what she's provided us, and then extend that to what we might receive as a strategic plan. And it's a little bit fuzzy yet to me.
Yeah. I have to admit, I have some more questions that need to be answered too, because the last time we did this, the main goal areas were service areas. The comfortable place, stimulate the imagination, and support new readers. So this would be a different setup if we organized our goals by these 5. So I need to go back and ask some questions as well. I don't think it's helpful to have too many goals.
It kind of bothers me.
Right.
yeah, in the past, we've always limited ourselves to 3 main goals, and I know that's what our consultant suggested last time, is 3 is enough to tackle, because by the time you get all your goals, your activities and everything planned, you can be pretty busy with it. So I'd be interested in hearing what Kim says.
See, and in my mind, when you get down to collections and physical space, to me, those tend to be more follow-up items to if we are making children's services a major goal area, as it has been in the past, then there will obviously be some collection activities underneath that one.
Well, in community involvement, identify and provide services for all ages / groups in the community. Digital downloads, digital access, expansion of collections to reflect the community. I mean, that can kind of dovetail up under that category, a lot of that. So. And in the teen area, physical space was mentioned up there, so there is overlap.
Okay, more discussion. I think we all ought to go through that and think about
Exciting.
what our Saturday morning group was like, and then be sure and ask questions. She's ours for asking questions.
Yes, and I'll be in contact with her again and send you more.
As I look at our next steps, when the first one being staff develops goals under each area, that assumes that there's been a joint agreement on what the big things are. And I just don't see the
Yeah.
process of getting to those big things yet, because her process starts with step one, which is after the fact, I think. And that's just a little confusing.
Well, she's got the Board of Trustees as number 5, and
Yeah, and I'm not.
I don't know where she envisions this, but it doesn't look like from the outset anyway.
Well, and I had asked that question earlier in the process, and it was my understanding that the board was going to have, well, the board had input in the meeting with her, but it was my understanding that there would be a point at which the board would approve the overarching goals, and then the staff would flesh it out. So,
That step seems to be a more appropriate step one than her step one.
okay.
So that there is agreement amongst us as to what those long-range strategic goals are. And then I'm very comfortable with following on down with her listed as 1 through 5.
I agree.
I think it's the board's responsibility to do that, and then the staff step in and,
So the board and staff could have a joint meeting to talk about it, because, staff works there every single day of the week and may have, I don't know, maybe they've got favorites out of here. I don't know. I am feeling like that since these are not in alphabetical order, that maybe they are in order of the amount of interest indicated by the groups and the survey. Maybe more, there was a heavy emphasis and discussion on teen services, more so than collections and physical space. I don't know, I'm just kind of reading between the lines.
I think we need to just get some more information and come back with it. Guessing isn't always productive.
Right.
It's fun.
I'll find out more.
Okay. Summer reading program. Emily McClyman.
Hi.
You're on.
Okay. All right, so we've got 3 flyers in front of you. We're going to start with the youngest, and then we'll work to the oldest. So your first one is this Fizz Boom. Here, you can take mine, and I can grab some other. Okay. So the first one is your Fizz Boom read. All of our themes this year are science related for the state of Iowa. So Sue's got all of her stuff for every week. We're going to be doing a 6-week program starting the week of June 9th, and we're actually going to do a big kickoff event, which is going to be fun. That's we're reading If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, and each page of the book is going to go through the garden, and so it's a big blown-up page, and as you walk through the garden, you read the book. So that's going to be a really neat thing, and we're going to have milk and cookies. That's our big kickoff event for the summer. Then Sue has her weekly Wednesday programs, and let's see, Pet Pals, where kids can sign up to read to a dog. We're going to do that again this year because that was a really big hit last year, and so we have some great volunteers from the Cedar Falls, Waterloo area that come up and do that. And that's only going to be 4 weeks, and 18 kids can do that for once a week, so that's a great thing. Let's see. We have some family nights. We're doing one each week this year also, so those are on there. And Read and Feed, which is fun. They come and bring a sack lunch, and Sue will read to you out in the garden, and that's a lot of fun for the kids. So those are the kids' programs. Any questions about them or anything else you want to know about or highlight?
I can hardly wait to see Ben the Bubble Man.
I know. She's got some good ones. And we have Dan Wardell's coming back again this year, so that's going to be really fun. And the Blank Park Zoo is great, and a lot of the same ones, but some new ones too. So
I think grossology is going to be good.
it will be
I think
fun.
you'll draw a lot of kids for that one.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a neat one.
For those who may not be familiar with the actual reading part of the program,
yes.
can you just talk about what the incentive is for the kids?
Sure. The incentive or the program is you get a log when you come in and sign up, and then if you read a picture book, you can read to your parents, or your parents can read to you, because it's for very young, all the way till 4th grade. And every time you read 5 books or you read a chapter book, counts as 5 for some of the older kids, then you get a prize. So some of the prizes this year, let me think about it, because I don't know. Sue just ordered them not that long ago, but let's see. She's got on here. Doesn't she, or not? On the back. Thank you. Let's see. She's got puzzle balls and Pizza Ranch coupons. Oh, and really cool one we got is a make your own bouncy ball set. Some light up Top It blasts and stretchy flying superheroes. So they're going to be neat. And then they also get to enter their name. If they do all 25 or 5 chapter books, they get to enter their name in to win the bikes. So we give out 2 bikes.
Yeah, the bikes, again, this year are being provided by the Nancy Greenlee Memorial Fund. We had enough money from that memorial to fund that for a few years, so
That's very nice.
that will be nice.
Yeah, that's really nice. And we have to say thank you to our friends group, too, because they pay for all of our the big entertainment programs on the Wednesdays. They do a really nice job and help us pay for that. So that's really nice. All right, then if you hold up your littler program, our littler flyer here for the Teen Summer Reading Program and open it up. We're doing, again this year, we're going to do a 5th through 8th and 9th through 12th program, because last year we decided that the 5th and 6th graders were kind of getting the short end of the deal doing the little kid things instead of, because they were able to do some of the older, and they really liked it. They made up almost half of our teen attendance, actually, so I'm really excited that they're going to do it again. And you can see we have programs on Tuesday during the day from 10:45 to 12:15, so for an hour and a half, and then on Wednesday evenings from 8 to 9:30. So different programs, and they're all kind of science related or that kind of thing. And the theme for the teens is Spark a Reaction. So, and another cool thing is on the back one, this letters here, these are Jeanette designed, are going to be our T-shirts for the staff, so that's going to be cool. And the reading part for the teens is we have, and the adults, this is going to be for both. We have a periodic table, and we've come up with, for the elements, we've come up with a different thing for each, to fill each of those element things. So for an example, like a book with a blue cover, or a book, published in the year you were born, or something like that, in each of the different things. So I came up with 118 of them, which was a lot. So anyway, so you can read, if you read the how it works for the reading one, if you read one element, you get a prize. If you do any type of compound, so we'll have water is H2O, or if you do, I don't know. There's lots of them. We're going to have those. You read, 3 or 4 different things, then you get another prize. And then if you fill an entire element group, all the, the metals, or that kind of thing, then you get your 3rd prize. So anyways, that'll be a really neat way to do it, I think, this year. And the kids, we really want them to read for fun, so they still get to choose their books, and you can do it based on your reading level. It's just we give some guidelines at least then. So anyway, that's how that's going to work. Oh, and I also put together a bookmark with more science-y related books and movies, and if they read or watch a combination of 5 of those, they can get 1 more prize. So that'll be good.
Can you speak just a little bit about some of our donors? I understand the local businesses really responded well.
Yeah, we've gotten more than ever, well, at least since I've been doing it. This is my 3rd year doing it, and this year we didn't really do anything different sending out our letter to ask for donations, but we got a great response this year, which is very cool. We've got stuff from the OP, pizzas. We've gotten golf balls from one of the car dealers. We've gotten a kids pedicure. Let's see, we've gotten, I don't know, lots of different things, and so we've gotten a greater response than ever from the community. So we'll have a list of those out to thank all of them too, and have that up in our library so that they get recognized. So that will be good. And let's see, any questions on that one?
Very clever.
Very clever. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well done.
I was going to ask you, former science teacher, if you knew what those elements were for READ.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I do. I was thinking of Breaking Bad for any twisted
Yeah.
souls that have to watch that.
We talked about that too, that it did look very Breaking Badish, which is really popular also right now. Okay.
May you be a 60 teen and do this? You've got some great stuff in the summer.
I could use volunteers if you want to help me.
Well,
you know.
there we go.
There you go.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah. We got lots of fun things we do. Iron Chef we're going to do again this year, and we have Adrenaline X come from Cedar Falls, and the kids love laser tag, and we're going to do a Mythbusters and all sorts of neat things. So it'll be fun. All right. Then this year, we've done adult summer reading things, but we have Jillian this year, and she's really done a nice job of putting together an even better with programs actually each week, and Jeanette's helped her too. So they're going to do the same thing for the reading part, very similar. The prizes are going to be a little bit different than the kids' prizes, but and then each week, once a week, they have a program on also science-y related things, raising chickens, home brewing, your sustainable backyard, gardening and seed saving, beekeeping and honey, and DIY health and beauty. So this year we have a big garden that we're going to have at the library too, which is a lot of fun. So we're going to try to tie a lot of things into that, also science related. So that's going to be
Great.
a new thing. Yeah, we're really excited about that.
Are these brochures available at the library and online? Is it on our web?
They're not online yet, but
Okay.
they will be very soon.
Okay.
We'll probably do that this coming week, I think. And then we started handing out the kids and teens ones at the Family Fun Fair this last weekend, and we'll take them to the schools, so everybody, all the way through middle school, will for sure get one, and then high schoolers can pick them up in the library at the high school. So that will be our distribution
This
plan.
sounds better than ever.
Yeah, I think we're ahead of schedule even, so that's really great. So, any other questions or?
Comments, compliments?
Excellent.
Yeah, we're excited, so it's going to be fun, I think. So if you really do want to volunteer, we will seriously take you up on it. Yeah, they're cool.
Okay. Thank you, Emily. And let's move on to National Library Week activities. And a proclamation was given at City Council last evening to say that April 13 through 19 is National Library Week. Do we have some activities?
Yes, and I'm going to let Emily speak to that as well.
Sure. The theme this year is Lives Change at Your Library is the national theme. So kind of with that, we decided that we wanted to do, we've been talking about it for a while, but we've wanted to do a Food for Fines and donate all of our food to the Northeast Iowa Food Bank. So people can come in next week and you can donate one item, non-perishable item equals $1 off of your library fines if you have any, or you can just donate for fun too.
Donate to pay my fines in advance.
Maybe.
I know there will be some.
No, we can't. Not as of right now. We can't.
Oh, rats.
You can't build up, credit or anything like that. But we've had people ask that before. But just for any fines you have currently on your account, even if you only have 10 cents, you can come in and we can waive your fine. So $1 for each item you bring and up to $5 per day. And it's only for things that you've come in that are overdue. So if you had brought in a damaged book, or if you paid for your printer copies, that kind of thing, you can't use it for that, just for overdue things. So overdue movies or items. So that's how that's going to work. And then every day during the weekdays, Monday through Friday, we're going to do a trivia, some sort of library-related trivia. I've got the questions on here, but I won't tell everyone in the community what they are. And then the winners each day will receive $5 of Waverly Bucks if you can get the closest. Or if you can get on, that's great, but some of them are kind of difficult. So, yeah, that'll be fun.
Another
Questions?
cool idea.
Yeah.
And not just putting up posters, but getting people involved.
That's the goal. So, and hopefully we can change some people's lives with the food we donate. That's the plan anyway.
That's a nice thought.
Okay,
I did have just a couple of announcements.
okay.
If any of you are interested, you can join us tomorrow at the Personnel and Policies Committee is meeting at 9 o'clock. Is that correct? Yes. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning at the library. As with all library board committee meetings, all are welcome. We have celebrity readers coming during the month of April to speak to our school class visits, which I'm not going to try to name them all individually, but I just wanted to say thanks to those community members who have agreed to come in and read to the classes. It's another person that we can get to speak to the kids to say, your librarian thinks reading is important, your parents think reading is important, and I also think reading is important, you know, for these people that they know from elsewhere in the community. So that's a really powerful thing that's going on right now. Also, this Thursday night, at 6 o'clock at the library, we're having a special program that I think is supported by, is it the National Endowment for the Humanities? Iowa Humanities.
Iowa Humanities, yeah.
He is, Chad Tim, Associate Professor of Education at Grandview University in Des Moines. He's giving a presentation on working with the enemy, German, Italian, and Japanese prisoners of war in Iowa during the Second World War. So that's Thursday night at 6 p.m. at the library. So that's very interesting. Jillian had applied for that grant for that project as well. So
That should be great.
Yes.
And there were, I think over around Algona, there was a prisoner of war camp.
There was one here in Waverly,
Was there one too? That should be really
south of town.
There's one near Storm Lake also.
There was a German.
German, okay. Okay, more comments. Anyone have anything that they'd like to
Great
share?
programs, great going
Yeah,
on in the
it's gonna be
library. Gosh.
Sarah has the steering committee for the Ragbri event giving you any tasking for the library?
no, I was here last night when Emily Neindorf made her presentation of the logo and kind of the beginning, and it sounds like now the work will come to flesh out those committees. So I have made her aware that, you know, there are numerous folks on staff who are willing to help. So I hope we'll be drawn into that so we can be a source of information for the visitors in town too.
I'm sure you'll get visitors.
Yes.
With the computers and
know.
everything.
Didn't City Council have the T-shirts on?
Yes,
last
they
night?
did.
We need these reading T-shirts.
Well, sure, we can arrange that.
We should have had those on today.
Yeah. I will make,
And we could wear them backwards for the camera.
we might have to order kid sizes for you though.
Oh, I.
I
All
do.
right.
I wear a few.
Do we have any more comments before this meeting deteriorates?
It already has.
Okay, do I hear a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
And we